shit's in the safe. Got me a spot out the way. Nigga just tryna be safe.
Let's get to the sports talk.
He's also their best shooter on volume. Obviously, Kyle Korver's a great shooter, but doesn't get as much shots and minutes. So you're talking about a really huge piece out for a month. The Celtics are winning.
Yep.
The Sixers are going to be good, and Miami keeps winning
Surging,
too.
yep.
So this matters. It is something.
It is something because Chris Middleton is the other star, right along with Giannis. Without him on the floor, now the other guys got to step up with Giannis to help him out with the scoring. Because you can't turn to nobody else like that on that team. You know they got a good team, but this is a big loss for Milwaukee. Chris Middleton is a big part of that team, right along with Giannis.
It's not everything, though, because he'll be back, and you got enough time left for the rest of the season.
This is where you get back to me for Eric Bledsoe, X Factor, right? Because obviously he's solid defensively, but very hot and cold on the other side of the ball. He's not going to be Middleton, but you need him to be more consistent.
He needs to make shots, and that's the big thing. He's been really inconsistent, particularly this perimeter jump shot. The three-pointer is not.
Yeah, they don't have anybody else that you can rely on consistently. Like, this guy's going to give us 15 to 18 a night.
You might have wanted Malcolm Brogdon.
I was about to say,
this is where they missed Brogdon.
Should I have? Maybe. Anyway, let's talk about James Harden, because he is somehow scoring even more than he did last year. Oh, yes, after 10 games, Harden is averaging more than 37 points a game, which is the most for any player's first 10 games of the season in 50 years. Guys, if you do the math, he is scoring more than a point per minute. So, Paul, do you think Harden's hot start is something, nothing, or everything?
I don't think it's nothing right now. Now, if he's averaging 40, it's something, because we've seen James Harden.
T-Mac maintains he will average 40 at some point this season.
He went a whole month when we saw this guy average 40 points. So it's nothing for the first 10 games to see him average 37. I mean, we've seen Harden put on some miraculous offensive performances, but until you get to that 40-mark plateau, it's nothing right now.
Here's the deal. Right?
It's just 10 games. Remember
the company
it's just
means
10
it's got to be something. It's with MJ and Kobe.
It's something, and here's why. It's something because he isn't even shooting the ball that well, right? So this is him struggling from the field, scoring that many.
Like, he's struggling for the field, but that 37 points average take everything away from people seeing that. Because he is struggling this year, but it don't look like it because he's averaging 37 points. So you can't tell is he struggling or not, but he really is at the gate. But this is like he's struggling, averaging 37.
And then the other thing is, we were all wondering and questioning how him and Russell Westbrook would fit with one another in terms of their offensive games. The jury's still out in terms of the team being successful with these two, but clearly he's not having a problem getting his offense off again, and this is him struggling from the field.
Here's why I think this is everything.
Everything?
Because of his percentages. So he's shooting 41% from the floor, 30% from three. Guess how those numbers are going to go? Up. He's doing what? Double-digit three-point attempts in every game, getting to a line on a bunch of those. Yeah. So if he's averaging 37 now, what do you think he is going to average once the ball starts going in?
Are you going on the T-Mac side and going with the 40?
He kind of has me convinced. I'm getting closer to that. I just look at how he's shooting. This is not going to last.
His usage rate is at an all-time high.
I mean, and by the way, they're going to need.
Like, his numbers gonna go up. I think he started out so last year. His numbers ain't gonna go up in the next few games. He coming out the gate a little bit slow, but he'll be just fine. Like, he just a scorer. He gonna figure out a way to get his numbers going back up like it was.
Need him to have his shot percentage goes up and to have even more points because defensively it's not.
By the way, you know why? Another reason why we haven't mentioned is last year they were one of the slowest teams in the league. This year they're one of the fastest, so he's got more opportunity.
Absolutely more possessions, and that, by the way, is the answer.
I can explain it too. It's like everything is new now. With Chris Paul, y'all was the slowest team last year. This year with Russell Westbrook, he grabbed a rebound and take off. So it's a fast-paced team, and that's how D'Antoni like to run his team. Harden got to get used to that, because Chris Paul was running a different type of team. Now they got Russell Westbrook that like to run. It's a different type of team. It's a different type of speed, and that's why I think Harden came out the gate slow, even though he averaged 37 points. But it'll pick up because he'll get used to it. It's a different type of point guard you have.
There was a little bit of like, oh, is there going to be enough for two of the highest usage players, Paul and Russ and James, in league history? I think they were 1 and 2 in league history in usage. Well, guess how you can have more turns for everyone? Create more turns! Russell Westbrook pushing the pace there is really interesting. Now, James Harden's next matchup is the Clippers. That is going to be Wednesday on ESPN. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app.